My coverage of CES 2025 is brought to you by Gigabyte, Lexar, MSI, and Thermaltake.
What's up guys, I'm over at Zotac, and yes, we're going to show you even more RTX 50 series graphics cards. They actually have some really cool ones and some unique designs that I haven't seen before, and the feature set that they've added to them is useful in many different ways. Let's check them out. So we're going to start it over here with the RTX 5080 Amp Extreme Infinity. This is a new design from Zotac, and what they've done is they've added an infinity mirror to the end of the GPU. Down on this end, so if you have a case like this with clear tempered glass side panels, that's the view you're going to get of it. Pretty nice. Pretty nice view of the GPU, but it's not just aesthetic upgrades they've made to this one. Functionality has also been improved. So gold-plated 12V2x6 connector right there. They've added an LED right next to it, so that will be green if it's plugged in all the way. So you can have a little bit more confident that your connector is plugged in all the way, delivering power to your GPU. Appreciate that one. Zotac has also gone with 3 fan controllers for this card rather than 2, so you can individually control the fan speed for each fan. The RGB elements on this GPU are also individually controllable, so this LED section down on the end, the Zotac logo, and the strip along the bottom can each individually be changed in the Zotac software. Or if you want to bypass the Zotac software, they've now added this little white plug. You can route that over and plug it directly into your motherboard, so you can use your motherboard's RGB control and not have a bunch of different software installed in your system. Finally, that little button right there is a dual VBIOS, so it's going to ship with a performance mode and a quiet mode. You can switch between those, or it's a very good peace of mind added feature for if you want to do some VBIOS modding. Here's a look at the other side of the Amp Infinity. This card is not plugged in, so it's not lit up. And this is going to be the same GPU cooler and shroud for the 5080 and 5090 version of this card. The cooler uses a vapor chamber and a composite heat pipe design for cooling, and they also have these blade link fans, which is what they're calling the fans with the ring around the outside that helps maintain stability on the blades and can improve static pressure. So the Amp Extreme is going to be a card that sells for above MSRP. We're not exactly sure how much far above. There's still some questions out there in terms of pricing for these cards, but this is the solid model, and this is going to be Zotac's MSRP card. And if you're looking at this one, and you're looking at that one and thinking, these both have a pretty, premium feel to them. That was my thought. When I looked at this, I was like, oh, this is your MSRP card? This is the 5080 solid, by the way, and this is going to maintain their Ice Storm 3.0 cooling solution. So it is essentially the same cooler as the Amp Extreme over there. It's even got the same fans. It's even got that nice LED feature that's right over here that will indicate that your power plug is plugged in all the way. And both of these have fan stop mode, so the fans won't spin if the GPU is not under load and isn't hot. And of course the blow-through design in the back for improved cooling. So that is the 5090 solid right there. This over here is the 5080 solid. Again, cards designed to sell at MSRP, but that look, I'm just going to say a nice premium look. I also like the color scheme that they've gone with on these cards. The dark gray with the sort of gold or bronzish metallic finish just really has a nice balance. It's a bit more refined, I might say. A lot of the gamer designs can get a little too gamery at times. So if you're looking for an RTX 50 series design that has a bit of sophistication, I'd say these definitely meet that need. Here's the RTX 5070 Ti from Zotac. This is called the Solid Core. So again, this is going to be an MSRP model that they're aiming to hit that 5070 Ti MSRP, which is $750. This still maintains the blade link fans. We still have Spectra RGB because we do have some RGB elements down here on the end. It's got the nice backplate, the reinforced metal frame. This is a triple slot cooler design, and yes, they still have maintained that little LED that lets you know that the power is plugged in all the way. Lastly, we have one that's probably going to be a bit more appealing for people who don't have like $1,000+ to spend on a graphics card. And this one is interesting because this is totally a prototype. This is going to be changed. They're going to be shortening the cooler on this card and making it a 2-fan solution. And since this is a mock-up for the show, it has a triple slot bracket on the back, but this is definitely going to be a 2-slot card. That looks pretty much 2-slot, not really like 2+ to me. Again, with this being a solid line, it's going to be aimed at the $550 MSRP. And apart from the fact that it's going to have one less fan in the shipping version, and we're expecting an RTX 5070 to be easily coolable by a 2-fan solution. But I guess they'll also probably be shortening this back plate a little bit, so we'll have to see how that turns out in the finished version. So there's a look at Zotac's new lineup of RTX 50 series graphics cards coming really soon. The 5080 and 5090 are expected by the end of January. And keep an eye out for the 5070 and 5070 Ti in the month or two following. One more thing to show you guys here, and that is the Zone handheld gaming device. Zotac actually debuted this at Computex last year, and they brought it to market later in the year. So this one is available for sale now. It has a Ryzen 7 8840U processor and Radeon 780M graphics, as well as that 7-inch AMOLED multi-touch display, 1080p, 120 Hz, 800 nits brightness, and this one has 16 gigs of RAM. But right over here we have the concept, the prototype version of the next Zotac Zone gaming handheld. And apart from going with a white finish, they have upgraded this in a lot of ways. It still maintains some cool features for a handheld, like it has a webcam built in. This one they're upgrading to the Ryzen AI 9 HX370 processor with 890M graphics, and it's going to have 32 gigs instead of 16 of LPDDR5X memory, but still maintaining that really nice looking 7-inch AMOLED multi-touch display, 1080p, 120 Hz, 800 nits brightness. And they said they're working on this one right now to dial in the battery life to make sure it lasts as long as possible. And yes, if we check out the back, it's still got RGB, as well as that convenient built-in kickstand. So there's a quick look at Zotac's prototype for their next generation Zone gaming handheld. Do you guys have a handheld gaming device? Do you use it like in conjunction with your gaming PC? I'm kind of curious. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. And let me know what you think of Zotac's new RTX 50 series designs for the 5090, 5080, 5070, and 5070 Ti. If you want to leave those comments in the comments section below, that's always appreciated. Also, in the description, you can find a link to the playlist for all of my CES content. We actually are getting to the end of it. There's probably just going to be one more video, so thank you guys for sticking with me. And a huge thank you to my sponsors for this event, Gigabyte, Thermaltake, MSI, and Lexar. We will see you guys in the next video.